if you are doing a test and you get stuck on a problem, skip it and come back to it. Don't just sit on that problem for the whole test. So number 1, it says, identify whether each sequence is arithmetic, geometric, or neither. If possible, find the common difference, D, or the common ratio. If you guys want to grab a calculator, you can. If you want to use your phone calculator, you can do that as well. So, if I look at my cheat sheet, under lesson 1.1, the first lesson we did, it says, common difference, take any term and subtract the previous term. So I can literally pick a term. Does anyone want to pick a term? 8.5. Perfect. Hey, that's where my mouse was. If I take 8.5 and I subtract 6, does anyone know what I get? I should get 2.5. You can check that with a calculator. Now, in order for this sequence to be arithmetic, I would need to get the same common difference even if I picked a different starting term. Quiet. Shh. Let's be off our phones and listening. Thank you. Let's say I take 13.5. What would I subtract? 11. That's the previous term. And if I get 2.5, which it looks like I do, that shows me that this sequence is arithmetic. So I will write that because that's what it was asking me. Arithmetic. What is the common difference? 2.5. So the common difference is 2.5. Okay. Yes. All right, 1B. Okay, I think it's pretty obvious here. This is not arithmetic. Do you guys agree? Yeah, we're definitely not adding the same thing. I mean, look, we go from 405 to 1,215. That's big jump. So let's see if it's geometric. Again, if I look at my cheat sheet, and I look on the left, or I'm sorry, the right side of 1.1, it says, to find a common ratio, take any term and this time divide by the previous term. So because I want to keep, I don't have a calculator in front of me, I would take 45 and I would divide by the previous term, which is what? 15. 45 divided by 15 is 3. If I take 135 and I divide 45, I also get 3. You can check that with the calculator, but that means that what kind of sequence is this? It is geometric. And what is the common ratio? It is 3. That's what we were doing right here. Okay. Any questions with number 1? Awesome. Can I scroll down? Okay. Number 2 says write a recursive formula. So again, I'm using my cheat sheet. I see number 1 and it gives me a recursive formula. So let's look at this. Does it look like I am adding or subtracting the same thing over and over again? No, definitely not, right? I subtract kind of a lot in the beginning, and here I subtract less than 1. So it's definitely going to be geometric. So let's see what our common multiplier is. If I take 24, what would I need to divide by? 120. Okay, I don't have a calculator in front of me. Can someone plug that in your calculator? It's going to be a decimal. 0.2. 0.2. Remember, that is the common ratio. So then if you look under 1.1 on the cheat sheet, it says recursive formula looks like this. AN equals AN minus 1 times R, where R is the common ratio. Remember, the only thing I need to replace here is R. This is just a fancy way of saying the previous term. We just leave it like that. And what is R? 0.2. 0.2. And this is all we need to do right here.
Isn't the first term is like 120, right?
Yes. However, if it was, great question. So I don't even know if that was a question. But if we were trying to get the explicit rule, we would need the first term. But because it only asks for recursive, I don't need to do the first term. It's even easier. Okay. A line passes through the point 8, 12 and has a slope of 3. Write the equation of this line. This is just like what we worked on with the quiz. Since it doesn't tell me what form I need to do, the easiest thing is going to be point slope form, because I know what a point is and I know what the slope is. So let's use point slope. This is coming from 1.6 on our cheat sheet. So if you look at your cheat sheet, y equals y1 plus m times x minus x1. This should be familiar because we just had a quiz on this Friday. What do I do at the point? Who remembers? I do something above it.
Oh, y1, 1x1.
Yeah, which order does it go?
X1.
Yeah, x1, y1. What letter is slope? M. So all I do is plug it in. Y and x are going to stay y and x. So here's going to be my answer. Y equals, what's y1? Plus, what's m? 3 times. Minus, what's x1? 8. Is that technically an equation for that line? Yeah, it is. We don't have to put it in slope-intercept form, so this is fine. Any questions with number 3? Good. All right, let's look at number 4. Number 4 says the figure in each step is created using blocks. The number of blocks needed to create each figure follows a pattern and forms a sequence. Okay, how many blocks are here? 5. How many blocks are here?
No,
7. How many blocks are here?
9.
Yes. What are we doing? Describe the pattern in words. Add 2 blocks each. How do I erase? There we go. Each step. Can we write an explicit rule for the sequence? Now we're going to look at our notes for lesson 1.2. An explicit rule looks like this. AN equals A1 plus D times N minus 1. This is coming straight from our cheat sheet, lesson 1.2. What does A1 represent? The first term. What is the first term? 5. Let me scroll down a little bit. So A1 would be 5. What's my common difference? 2. And N minus 1 I leave alone. If you wanted, you don't need to do this because it didn't ask you to, but if you wanted to simplify this, you could distribute this to, and this is maybe a good practice, and you could put this in, maybe you could say a simpler form. What is 2 times n? What is 2 times negative 1? Negative 2. The 5 I didn't change. So I would get something like this. And then is there anything I can combine? 5 and negative 2. What is 5 and negative 2 when I combine them? 3. So this would be another way that you would get the right answer. These are, that's just, I would say that's a simpler way to do it, or a simpler, it's simplified. I didn't take away, good question. I did not take away from both sides. I did 5 minus 2 and it gave me 3. It's not really taking away from both sides, it's combining. Yeah, so 5 plus negative 2 or 5 minus 2, it's kind of the same thing. Yeah. How did the front side feel? Okay. Let's look at the back side. Or I guess there's 3 sides, so. The next page. Can I scroll down? Are we good? Okay. Okay, oh man, words. Okay. A baby elephant can weigh between 200 and 300 pounds at birth, making them the largest baby animals on land. The weight the baby gains daily over the first 6 months of its life can be modeled by a linear relationship. The equation y equals 239 plus 2x models the weight in pounds y of a baby elephant x days after it was born. Yeah. Yes. So the question is, x is representing the number of days after birth. How much did the baby elephant weigh at birth? What do we plug in for x? How many days? If the baby elephant was just born 10 seconds ago, how many days have passed? 0. If you plug in 0, 2 times 0 is 0, and all we get is this, 239. 239 plus 2 times 0 equals 239. Right? So 239 pounds. I remember when we were looking at slope-intercept form, I mentioned to you guys, you can think of a y-intercept as the starting value. So you could have probably just looked at this equation and been like, okay, well, I know that 239 is the y-intercept, so that's going to be what the elephant starts at. Part B, according to the model, how much weight does the elephant gain per day? Remember, slope is the same as rate of change. So how many pounds per day is this elephant growing? 2. 2 pounds per day. Every day, the little baby elephant gains 2 pounds. Kind of weird. All right. Oh. Any questions with how we got these answers? Okay, good. Nice. All righty. Mishal's pool is partially full and he is using water from a garden hose to add water. The hose adds water to the pool at a rate of 9 gallons per minute. Think of that rate of change, 9 gallons per minute. That is a rate of change. After the hose has been filling the pool for 120 minutes, the pool contains 7,580 gallons. Write an equation in point slope form for the total amount of water in the pool, Y. So Y is the amount of water in the pool in gallons after the hose has been filling the pool after X minutes. So X is representing minutes, Y is representing gallons. Okay. We need 2 things for point slope form. We need a point and we need a slope. What is the slope? 9. The slope is 9. Do we have a point? We actually do. It's just a little weird. We have an X value. Where does it? 120 minutes. And how many gallons were in the pool after 120 minutes? 7,580. That's basically a point. It's just not given to us as a point. Well, we know what to do now, don't we? What do I write above the point? X1, Y1. Point slope is this, Y equals Y1 plus M times X minus X1. So here's going to be my equation. 7,580 plus 9 times X minus, oh, I almost messed up. What's X1? 120. And this would be the answer because it asks for the equation in point slope form. Now, part B says how much water was in the pool when Michelle, I think that's just Michelle, started filling it with the hose. In order to figure that out, we need to know what the y-intercept is. To figure out what the y-intercept is, we got to put it in slope, intercept, form, exactly like what we did on the quiz. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to distribute. Why is this here? Go away. Distribute that 9. 9x. Can someone do 9 times negative 120 in their calculator? I believe you get negative 1080. But someone maybe check that. Oh, I was right. Can I combine anything? Yeah, 7 and sort of, yeah. I believe you're going to get 6,500. Someone check that. Again, we're not taking away from both sides. We're combining. Same as last time. 650, 6,500. So if this is the y-intercept, there were 6,500 gallons when he started. We're going to skip C. We're not going to have a problem like that on the test. I'm going to put this up on my channel, so if you need to rewatch parts of it, you can do that later. And if you guys like the video, what do? Hit that like button. All right, number 7. Okay, number 7. The recursive formula describes an arithmetic sequence. What's the first term? What's the common difference? 5. So I would add 5 over and over and over again, correct? So that would give me 60. Well, let's think about it like this. This is the first term. I want the 15th term. How many times would I have to add 5 to go from 1 to 15? Fourteen times I would have to add 5. What's an easier way to do that? Multiply. 14 times 5 is 70. 62 plus 70 is 132. Okay. The next part was tricky. This was maybe one of the harder things we did. But this is from lesson 1.3. And luckily we have a formula for the sum of an arithmetic sequence. The sum of an arithmetic sequence was this formula. Sn equals n times a1 plus an divided by 2. This is that lesson, if you guys remember, the super stair workout where the dude went up a stair, then he went up 2 stairs. Yeah, I did. This formula looks complicated, but it really isn't that bad. N is the number of terms. A1 is the first term. AN is the last term. Luckily, we already know all of these things. How many terms am I adding up? 15. What was the first term? This is going to be a really big number, by the way. 62. What's the last term? 132. And then I divide 2. I'm going to need your help because I don't have a calculator. 15 times 62 and 132, is that 194? No? Is that right? 62 plus 132?
How much?
194? It should be right. Do 15 times 194. 2,910. And then if you divide by 2, you should get 1,455.
Yeah.
All right. You can use a calculator here. How's it feel so far? This is a cheat sheet helping us. You see how everything we need to know, it comes from that cheat sheet, pretty much? Okay. Number 8. This will be on my channel, Lester, so watch the video later. Take a picture. Okay. Alrighty. Number 8, a portion of a geometric sequence is shown in the table. On the top, we have the number of terms. So we have the third term, the fourth term, and the fifth term. We need to find A1. We need to find the first term. So we're missing the first term, and we're missing the second term. Before we do that, what's the common ratio? What is it? How do we find the common ratio? Divide what? Yeah, so let's do 486 divided by 162. I believe that's going to give me a 3. Okay. So let's think about this. If I go up the sequence, what am I doing? I'm multiplying by what? 3. So to go forward, I multiply by 3. To go backwards, what would I do? Divide by 3. 162 divided by 3, what is it? 54. That would be the second term. 54 divided by 3, what is it? 18. So what's the first term? 18. Write an explicit formula for the sequence. Oh boy. I think that's lesson 1.3. Nope, 1.4. Yeah, 1.4. Explicit. AN equals what? Times R. Oh, 3. Okay. You were just doing it? I like it. What's A1? 18 times 3 to the power n minus 1. That n minus 1 is the whole power. It's kind of weird. A linear relationship exists between x and y and can be written as 4x plus 15y equals c, where c is a constant. That just means a number. The table gives some values of x and their corresponding values of y. Find the value of c. Like, from this table, which looks easiest to plug in? I like plugging in 0. I would plug in that, 0 and 14. So check this out. 4, what's x? Plus 15, what am I going to plug in for y? 14 equals c. C is just some number. What's 4 times 0? What's 15 times 14? I don't know either. I think it's 210 or something like that. 210. So C equals 210. I don't think we're going to have a problem like that on the test. Oh my gosh, we have 6 minutes left, and we have one problem. Awesome. Okay, I'm just going to keep going because we don't have much time left. Write an equation for the linear relationship shown on the graph. Okay, again, it doesn't tell me what form. So I have options. I would recommend point slope form because it's easier. Can we figure out what the slope is? How would we do that? Yeah, give me directions. Let's say I'm here. How do I get here? I go up 3. So the rise is what? Yeah, you're right. 3. And then what? What's the run? 6. Can I reduce that? To what? Close. Yeah, 1/2. What point looks easiest to use? Do we like negative numbers? Do we like 0? I like 0. I would use this point. x1, y1. So my equation would be this. Y equals 0 plus 1/2 x minus 8. And just for fun, we'll simplify this. The 0 goes away because adding 0 doesn't do anything. What's 1/2 times x? 1/2 x. What is 1/2 of negative 8? Or negative 8 divided by 2? gonna be negative,
Negative 4.
-4. We're done.